All right, so direct mail. Let's talk about it. We got two here. Of course, farm a neighborhood. But I'm going to give you some highlights on farm a neighborhood. That's a no-brainer. You heard me mention earlier today where people struggle with farming is they try to do the least amount of effort to make farming effective. To do an effective farm, you have to have a couple of components here. Number one is you have to dial in and be very, very clear on the amount of houses you're going to target to the point where it's obsession. So if you're going to start with 300 homes, you're going to look at it and say, okay, I'm going to convert 10% of these 300 homes that I'm marketing to every single year. That means that when I mail to these 300 homes, I need to know who owns them, who they are, what mail I'm sending, or obviously what mail I'm sending to them, what their interests are, if they've ever responded to me, have I door knocked them, have I phone called them, have I done a community event with them, have I done any of these things? The only way a farm works is you have to be living inside of that farm, and then you have to make it personal. So you heard me say earlier, a letter from the heart, or any way that you can connect with them directly to let them know that you're a human, you love this neighborhood, whether you live in it or not, you love this community, and you're here to be able to support them in anything they need about this area or questions about it. Direct mail, of course, has an expense to it. So you've got to make sure that you're in a position to be able to spend that kind of money. And then you also have to remember that there's two ways to win at direct mail. It's either massive repetition, so you're going to go quantity, or you're going to go super high-end quality. If you're going to go super high-end quality, so let's say that you live, like my neighborhood is a gated golf course country club neighborhood. People are very, very uppity here. They are a type of way. If I send them a cheap postcard every 2 weeks, I'm not going to get much traction here. They're just not. So I have to figure out, okay, am I going to send a luxury magazine? Am I going to send something that's going to interest them in their world that is going to feature me without me trying to sell myself? What's that value that they're going to get out of it? My success in farming is when I first started in business, I focused on condo buildings, high-rise condo buildings in Cap Hill here in Colorado. And I loved these buildings because they had 400 units in them or whatever it was. And I could market to the building with postcards, with just sold, just listed postcards over and over and over again, to the point that the building thought I was the authority. And when you get into that rhythm, they thought I was an authority on that building because anytime a listing popped up in that neighborhood, I would send a just listed card for that property, even though it wasn't mine. And so after a while, they kept seeing just listed, under contract, sold, my logo, my name. And now again, check with your local broker. You can't steal the photos from the other property. You can put the address. If you get permission from the other agent, you can put the photos of their property or whatever it is, but get permission of what you're doing. But eventually the building just kept seeing Brendan and this building. Listed, active, closed. Listed, active, closed. I brainwashed the building into thinking I'm the expert. So then, of course, I started getting calls to come look at their unit and sell their unit. Then I would sell that unit. Then it really was the unit that I sold. Then I could talk in education about it. So if you're new to farming, I love high-rise buildings. I love especially older high-rise buildings because you can have control over it. And you don't have to live in the building. No one cares. It's tough to get into farming a neighborhood at times if you don't live in that neighborhood. And then sometimes in our heads, we get opposed because we think somebody already is the dominant force in that neighborhood. Whoever you think is dominating your neighborhood, let me tell you, half that neighborhood hates that person because they heard a story from someone in the neighborhood about Susie screwed somebody on commission or she didn't get any buyers for the house. People talk. So never think that somebody has domination over anything. Just because they market a lot doesn't mean anybody likes them. And even the best farmers only have 10% market share. My favorite one, and if you just do the one thing, that's why I ended with this one, unsolicited CMAs to your database. If you were going to mail anything today, if you were going to spend $1 on postage or 50 cents on postage, mail a CMA, a comparative market analysis, to someone in your database that owns a home. Do it every day, 5 days a week, with a pretty CMA, whether you're using, we use Cloud CMA, but if you're doing it manually, whatever it is, if you need to learn how to do a CMA, we have a CMA course that you can check out. We have a video on it. You can do whatever you want for free. You can go on YouTube and search how do you make great CMAs, whatever you want to do. There's ways to do this. I would print out a beautiful CMA and I would put it in a nice little envelope, whether you have your own custom ones or not. Don't get over analytical, just put it in an envelope. And I would have a handwritten note in there that says, Amy, hope you're doing well. Hope you and kids are great, blah, blah, blah. Just wanted to provide you an update on your current home's value as the market's changing drastically. If you have any questions, please review the information and feel free to give me a call. Your friend, B Dizzle. right? Whatever, right? Kindly Brendan. You do this 5 times a week, right? So you're sending out 20 CMAs a month. I'm going to guarantee it produces you 2 listings a month every month for the rest of your life. Biggest challenge, you won't do it because it takes work, takes time, it takes effort. And agents in our mind, we hate doing CMAs. We hate them because they make us terrified and nervous because we don't do enough of them. So every time we do one, it takes us 3 hours, which is also a problem. You should be able to do a very, very good CMA 10 to 15 minutes tops. 10 to 15 minutes tops. If you're using Cloud CMA, the technology makes it so much easier. You could do it in probably 5. It's the handwritten note that's so critical. Don't sell yourself. If you have any interest in selling, give me a call. No. The market's shifting drastically. I just wanted to make sure that you had the most recent information. Call me if you have any questions. Consultant hat, not salesperson hat. The market has changed the most dramatically in the last 6 months that we've seen in the last 13 years. It is critical to make sure that your sellers know this information, because when they see the graphs going, pew, or in other markets, it might be going the other way, or it might be flat in certain markets, they're going to go, wow. Then the next thing is, depending on how many people are in your database, do one every quarter or every 6 months or once a year minimum, and have that updated in your database. This is a game changer. Now, you can also, people always ask, can I do it via email? Absolutely, but it takes away the feeling. It takes away, it won't sit on their coffee table. Remember the movie Inception. We're planting a bug in their mind when they see this on the table going, market's changing. Man, I know we were talking about moving closer to mom down in Arkansas. She's getting older. Maybe we should do this sooner because we could lose. It looks like the market's taking a dive. If we don't get out now, how much further is it going to go and how much more money could we lose? Right? We've got to get that nailed down. So if it sits on the coffee table, they can feel it, they can touch it, they can discuss it, they can see it. It plants that little seed that starts to spin inside their head that leads to you listing their home and getting them where they want to go.